We live in a world where everyone is chasing something: love, approval, validation, likes, followers, attention. But there's a strange irony that most people never notice. The harder you chase something, the faster it slips away. Whether it's a person, a goal, or even success, desperation pushes it out of reach. But the moment you let go, things start falling into place. People start noticing. The world starts responding. That's the dark, unspoken law of attraction. The less you care, the more they chase. Let's be clear, this isn't about arrogance or playing games. It's not about pretending you don't care when you actually do. It's about control, emotional control. The power that comes when your peace no longer depends on how someone else feels about you. Because the second you make someone the center of your emotional universe, you lose your power and they feel it. People can sense when you're desperate for their attention, when you're waiting for their reply, when your happiness depends on what they do next. That's when attraction dies, slowly and silently. The truth is simple but brutal. Nobody values what's always available. If you're always there, always texting first, always saying yes, always trying to impress, you become predictable. And predictable is boring. Human psychology is wired for challenge and uncertainty. We want what feels rare, what feels earned. That's why the person who doesn't beg for attention, who doesn't explain too much, who seems perfectly fine on their own, becomes the most magnetic person in the room. They carry an energy that says, I want you, but I don't need you. And that's the most attractive energy in existence. When you chase people, you give away your power. You're silently saying, you matter more than me. And when someone feels that, they lose interest. It's not even conscious, it's instinctive. Because deep down, people are drawn to confidence, not neediness. We crave stability, not desperation. We want to be around someone who feels complete, not someone looking for completion through us. Have you ever noticed how someone starts liking you the moment you stop caring? It's not coincidence. It's the shift in energy. When you stop seeking validation, your energy becomes calm, detached, and confident, and people feel that shift. Suddenly they start thinking about you. They wonder what changed. They feel your absence like a quiet echo. That silence, the one where you used to text and call or check in, becomes louder than words. And in that silence, they chase. It's the same reason people value limited edition items more than the ones they can get anytime. Scarcity creates desire. When your attention is easy to get, it loses value. When it's rare, it becomes gold. That's why your time, your energy, and your presence should be treated as luxury, not charity. You don't need to be rude or cold. You just need to know your worth. Now, here's where most people misunderstand this law. They think not caring means being emotionally numb. But that's not strength, that's avoidance. True detachment isn't about being heartless. It's about being in control. It's about saying, I can love deeply, but I will never beg for love. I can care fully, but I will never chase what isn't choosing me. That mindset is power. Because when you reach that point, you stop being reactive. You stop waiting for texts, for attention, for approval. You start living again with your focus back where it belongs, on yourself. And that's when the magic happens. When your energy shifts from I need to I choose, everything around you changes. People sense it. They start chasing your attention, your vibe, your time. Because now you've become the prize. You've become the one they want to impress, the one they can't quite figure out, the one that doesn't crumble when ignored. Think about it. When someone is calm, confident, and emotionally independent, they stand out in a world addicted to validation. When everyone else is desperate to be liked, the one who doesn't care too much becomes a mystery, and mystery is magnetic. That's why emotional self-control is the ultimate flex. The person who can walk away calmly when things turn toxic, who doesn't argue just to prove a point, who lets silence do the talking, that person owns the room. That person radiates power. Because power isn't about dominance, it's about choice. When you don't need someone, you can choose them. That's real freedom. And ironically, people crave that energy more than anything else. They want someone who doesn't cling. They want someone who can stand alone. Because deep down, everyone is tired of emotional chaos. We all want stability, and stability comes from strength. Now let's talk about the psychology behind this. When you chase, you trigger the other person's flight response. They feel cornered, even if you don't realize it. Their brain labels your behavior as pressure, and people naturally run from pressure. But when you pull away, when you go silent, when you focus on your own life, their brain starts missing the dopamine hit they used to get from your attention. They start wondering what you're doing, who you're with, why you're not reaching out anymore. Their curiosity becomes hunger. That's how the dark law of attraction works. Not by manipulation, but by energy. You stop forcing and you start attracting. You stop proving and you start pulling. It's the art of calm detachment, the secret language of emotional power. But here's the thing. This law only works when you truly mean it. You can't fake detachment. You can't pretend to be unbothered while secretly obsessing. Energy doesn't lie. You have to genuinely reach a point where you're okay with losing people who aren't meant to stay. You have to understand that losing fake love is not loss, it's alignment. Because when you let go of people who drain your energy, the universe replaces them with people who match it. The ones who choose you effortlessly. The ones who don't make you beg. The ones who see your value without you having to prove it. That's the beauty of not caring too much. You start protecting your energy. You stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop overextending yourself for people who wouldn't do the same. You stop apologizing for having boundaries. And once you reach that level of emotional clarity, your entire aura changes. You walk differently. You talk differently. You radiate calm confidence that says, I know my worth and I'm not afraid to be alone. And that's when they chase. Because now you're not chasing them, you're chasing peace. You're chasing growth. You're chasing yourself. And that's what makes you irresistible. The world doesn't reward neediness. It rewards certainty. It rewards people who can stand alone. Because the truth is, when you need nothing, you attract everything. So if you're tired of chasing people who never see your worth, stop. Pull your energy back. Rebuild yourself. Fall in love with your silence, with your growth, with your own company. Let them wonder where you went. Let them feel your absence. Let them realize what they lost. Because the right ones will come back, not because you begged, but because they felt your absence. And even if they don't, you'll be too focused on becoming your best self to care. That's the real power of detachment. It gives you peace, clarity, and control. You stop surviving for attention and start thriving in your own energy. Remember this, the less you care, the more they chase. Not because of some trick, but because indifference is confidence and confidence is irresistible. So stop explaining, stop proving, stop chasing. Your silence will say more than your words ever could. And the moment you finally stop needing anyone to choose you is the exact moment the world starts doing it. When you learn to walk alone, you realize how many people start following.